I'm guilty of marrying people I wasn't in love with.
I just think that he has amnesia when it comes to the past because you just can't keep up that kind of pretense for 20 years. I know what happened. He can say whatever he wants. It's fine because I just don't care anymore.
One thing I love about Janelle, she's been refreshingly consistent and completely unbothered when it comes to not buying Kody's "now that you dumped me, I never really loved you anyway. But wait, I still want a romantic connection, so please come back" nonsense. She saw right through him and nailed exactly why he's spinning that tale. It's not truth, it's ego protection. Honestly, I think Meri needed to hear someone say it out loud, and Janelle was the perfect person to deliver the reality check. Sometimes, it takes someone who's lived the same mess to look you in the eye and say, "Nope, that's gaslighting. He's not rewriting history. He's just bitter. You're not begging to come back." Janelle and Meri were there from the beginning. Janelle remembers how Kody used to fawn over Meri, remembers how he treated all 3 wives in those early years. She's not relying on hindsight or filtered memories. She lived it. Christine couldn't say it. Her way of expressing things can come off harsh, like we saw during the post-Axel birth talk. Jen? She sees it all clearly, sure, but she's an outsider. It's hard to take advice seriously from someone who wasn't in the trenches with you. But Janelle? She and Meri have a no-nonsense, no BS dynamic. They don't sugarcoat. They tell each other the truth, plain and simple. And honestly, Janelle probably knows Kody better than he knows himself. I'm watching season 17 right now, and it's hilarious watching him get all worked up because she's not upset about him ignoring her. She's just like, "Yeah, that tracks. I'm fine." And he hates that. He wants her to pine like Meri or Christine once did, and she's over here thriving in her peace. Zero energy for his drama. Let's be real. It's easier for Kody to tell himself he never loved them than to admit that 3 women he loved stopped loving him and walked away. Okay, maybe not Meri completely, but the catfish scandal was her foot halfway out the door. Rather than face being left, he emotionally checked out first so he could pretend he was the one who walked. But he played himself. Christine pieced out like the house was on fire. Janelle quietly pulled away, then dipped. And Meri? She got that spiritual divorce and left him crying into his curls. That's what triggered this whole "I never loved them" routine. But let's be real, we all saw it for what it was. Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to ThreadoraTalks, where the conversations are always next level. I'm your host, Jenna, and today, we're turning things up a notch. Trust me, this is one video you do not want to miss, so let's dive right in. Okay, I feel a little guilty admitting this, because hey, we're all family here, but I've got some serious doubts about that Valentine's Day dinner between Kody and Robyn. Suspicious? Absolutely. First of all, does anyone really believe that was actually filmed on Valentine's Day? The restaurant looked about as festive as a DMV waiting room. No hearts, no flowers, no ambiance. Nothing to suggest it was February 14th. So, if it wasn't filmed on the actual day, then I have to wonder, was the whole "our sons from other mothers used to get along so well" conversation just conveniently planted to make it seem like Kody and Garrison had reconciled? You know, just in time for an episode that would later address Garrison? If so, it feels less like a touching memory and more like damage control dressed up as sentiment. Now, maybe I'm being overly suspicious. God forgive me, but let's not pretend Kody and Robyn haven't been deceptive before. If someone can prove me wrong, by all means, I'm open. But it's not just their dinner that raises eyebrows. Christine's date didn't seem to scream Valentine's Day either. The waitress literally had to ask what they were celebrating. Pretty sure on Valentine's Day, that would be obvious. As for the Garrison mention, yes, it's possible Kody and his son spoke before his passing. But even if they did, all we have is Kody's vague reference to a conversation. And based on Kody's well-documented history of twisting events to fit his own narrative, I'm not exactly taking that at face value. Let's not forget the man's emotional tribute was basically, "Wish I could have one last beer with him so he could make me laugh." Really? No "I love you"? No "I'm proud of you"? Just a beer and a joke? Classic Kody. Always centering himself. And with Robyn, who clearly benefits from keeping him isolated from the rest of the family, right there by his side? Yeah, I don't think it's wild to question their motives. Between them, they've rewritten the narrative more times than a telenovela writer. And yeah, I know it doesn't totally add up. If the show wanted it to look like Valentine's Day, wouldn't they at least try to sell the illusion? But here's the thing. I once saw a reality show film in my hometown around Halloween, and the crew literally stripped all the Halloween decor out of a local bar and put it back after filming. So it's entirely possible the Sister Wives crew did the same for continuity. Or maybe they just didn't care. Either way, I believe Kody has more control over production than people realize. Just look at how the tell-all interviews are run. So yes, it's totally plausible he orchestrated this to clean up his image. And no, I wouldn't put anything past those two. I've got to hand it to Janelle, Christine, and Meri. I'm genuinely proud of them. It's refreshing to see them finally carving out their own paths. They're making an effort to support each other, and I really hope Meri and Christine can find some common ground. They've all been through the emotional ringer, but it looks like they're doing the work to heal and gear up for an amazing third act. Now let's be honest. Most of us are so ready for K&R to exit stage left. We're here for the OG3, watching them move on, and hopefully realize that there are way better men out there than what they put up with. Christine especially looks like she's thriving already. Go, girl. So here's a little theory I've been chewing on. Kody's entire approach to divorce seems heavily influenced by one example, Robyn's. He constantly complains that his ex-wives poisoned the kids against him. But when you think about it, his gold standard for what a divorce looks like is Robyn's own scorched earth split from her ex. And let's be real, Robyn did badmouth her ex to the kids and basically anyone with ears. She made sure those kids wanted nothing to do with their biological dad, then pressured the guy into giving up custody entirely. He's no prize either, but still. So when Kody starts projecting that same narrative onto his divorces with Meri, Janelle, and Christine, it actually tracks. He's not right. He's still an idiot. But it kind of makes sense. In his mind, all divorces must play out like Robyn's. The mom turns the kids, the dad becomes public enemy number one, and boom, clean slate for the new loyal family. The messed up part? Robyn's kids were super young and probably couldn't tell what was happening. That kind of manipulation is just plain abusive. But Kody watched it unfold and clearly thought, ah, yes, this is how divorce works. Then add in moments like when Janelle said to Christine, I know you texted my kids some stuff after Christine announced she was leaving. That's all the confirmation Kody needed to believe the narrative, that his wives were actively turning the kids against him. Whether or not it's true, doesn't matter to him. He's got his script and he's sticking to it. Mafia wife vibes? Okay, is it just me? Or did Robyn look like a full-on mafia wife in the latest episode? As soon as she walked into that Valentine's Day dinner, with that black leather trench coat and bright red shirt, I half expected dramatic music and a slow-motion entrance. But maybe it is just me. Because, let's be real, I've never seen a mafia wife rock a frumpy floral blouse. When I hear mafia wife, I'm thinking Victoria Gotti, or one of the ladies from Mob Wives, not, well, Robyn trying her best undercover boss cosplay. So I keep seeing people joke that Robyn spends all of Kody's money on creepy dolls and questionable wall art, no less. And honestly, I need the receipts because that sounds hilarious. But let's clear one thing up. Is it really Kody's money anymore? These days, it's more like TLC money, which technically goes to all the Browns, but somehow still ends up funneled into Robyn's Etsy doll wardrobe fund. Back in the day, it was family money, but that concept seemed to dissolve faster than Kody's relationship with Christine. To be fair, it's not just Robyn with the spending habits of a Real Housewife reject. Kody's out here blowing cash on David Yurman like he's starring in his own midlife crisis catalog. But Robyn, she has a very specific aesthetic. Think overpriced Victorian dolls and oddly soulless decor. And yes, she really did buy custom doll clothes. From Etsy. Frequently. Now nobody outside the family, and maybe not even inside it, knows exactly how much they're paid or how much they owe. But let's just say their financial strategy screams living on a prayer and a lot of credit. Case in point, Robyn and Kody somehow got approved for a mortgage north of $1 million for that Flagstaff mansion, despite all signs pointing toward living paycheck to paycheck. So no, he's not technically broke. But let's be real, he's probably one late TLC payment away from financial freefall. And don't forget the family home narrative. Kody was crashing at Robyn's mansion about 90% of the time, paying her mortgage and covering the bills under the excuse that her house was a family asset. Meanwhile, Christine, paying her own mortgage, and Kody never chipped in once. She said so herself. Meri, holding down her place solo, thanks to her LuLaRoe hustle. Janelle, bouncing between small rentals and an RV, likely by choice, and definitely by necessity. Kody's explanation? Something vague about car maintenance for the kids. Convenient. So yeah, Robyn might not be draining just Kody's account, but she's definitely spending enough to empty all of them. And Kody? Well, let's just say his financial priorities are as scattered as his parenting. So, where exactly is the Kody and Robyn horse ride we were promised? Because if this episode ends up being just Meri speed dating, Christine and David flinging a frisbee, and Janelle grieving Garrison, I swear. Are Kody and Robyn galloping off into the sunset somewhere? Or are they saving their grand entrance for the tell-all, rolling up to a Coyote Pass fire pit chat with Sukanya like it's their big finale? And don't even get me started on that horse scene. That poor animal, it was clearly overloaded. There's no way a horse that size should be carrying 2 full-grown adults. Max capacity is what, 250, maybe 300 pounds? And they blew past that like Kody blows past accountability. So his whole, I'm a horse expert bit? Please, just another notch on his belt of delusion. But hey, maybe animal mistreatment is just their thing now. Isn't Robyn the one who accidentally kicks pets? Sounds about right. Honestly, I'd bet money Robyn barely shows up in this episode. Unless, of course, it's to cry about being misunderstood. Again. Okay, here's my theory. Kody and Robyn came up with the brilliant idea to build a mega mansion on Coyote Pass, and they convinced the other wives to invest by promising them their own apartments or condos. The whole plan was probably presented as a way to make the project happen, with everyone getting their own space in the process. Once the mansion is built, Kody and Robyn, though let's be real, he's the one who never loved or was attracted to the OG3 for the sake of appearances, would slowly push them out. The plan? Let Robyn's older kids move into those apartments and start their own families. Sure, the whole kid-to-suite ratio is a little off, but hey, the older kids could just crash in Robyn's space until they were in their mid-20s, like everyone else. Then, once they hit to the magic age, Robyn would just approve a few more single-dwelling units on the property, and voila, the family would shuffle like a bad game of musical chairs. But, surprise, surprise, the OG3 didn't fall for it. So, Kody's big master plan didn't work, and now he's trying to implode the entire family. The cherry on top? He's making everyone suffer with the sale of the property. It's like the perfect storm of poor decisions. Honestly, I'll take off my tinfoil hat if you want, but I think the original theory was that Kody and Robyn would stay in the She-Ra Chateau, whatever that is, while the kids got the anticipated 5 plots on Coyote Pass. Remember when Kody suddenly decided he needed a plot of land all to himself? Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? But here's the twist. I remember Robyn never actually said anything about the big house during or after that presentation. I think she was just quietly letting Christine do all the heavy lifting. There was also a conversation between Robyn and one of the OG3, I can't remember who, where it became pretty clear that Robyn wasn't all that excited about the big house either. She didn't push for it. She just stayed silent and let Christine handle the details. Still, who knows? Maybe Robyn's kids would have moved into those apartments in the big house after all. Or maybe the whole thing was just a storyline cooked up for some extra drama. Who can even say? But honestly, how could Kody come up with such a plan without Robyn being in on it? I mean, She definitely didn't seem thrilled about the idea, so maybe it was just a marketing ploy for the architect. Has Robyn ever genuinely complimented the OG-13? Honestly, I hope I'm wrong here. I haven't done a full rewatch in a while, and I'd love for this to get downvoted into oblivion because someone points out a long list of glowing moments where Robyn was warm and full of praise. But I can't think of a single time she's genuinely admired or praised the kids who aren't biologically hers. Anyone got receipts? Let's see. There was that time she told Maddie she needed to dress more modestly because she was too gorgeous. Motherly concern or passive-aggressive burn? You decide. Then she threatened to kick Maddie out of Janelle's house because Maddie didn't want to sign the family commitment (TM) contract. Nothing says loving stepmom like eviction threats. Oh, and the t-shirts. You know, the ones she buys in sizes she knows they won't fit into. So thoughtful. And who could forget her complimenting the girls on their weight gain and stretch marks? Truly inspirational. Okay, hear me out, because this is going to sound totally wild. But it drives me insane how Kody and Robyn got their perfect little boy and girl combo with Sol and Ari. Like, they wanted 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And somehow, miraculously, that's exactly what they got. How convenient. It's almost like it was their plan all along. And don't even get me started on how Robyn clearly wanted another kid just to keep Kody tied to her. Let's be real. Robyn and Kody never seemed genuinely at peace. Robyn's constant "poor me" narrative has convinced her that the family attacked her. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Meanwhile, Kody's complete lack of basic sense and his utter abandonment of his first wives and kids is just a constant reminder of how much of a failure he is as a husband and father. Sure, they act like they're happy together, but I don't buy it for a second. Honestly, I think Kody has to lie about how perfect things are with Robyn and her kids, because deep down, he knows it's all a mess. And Robyn? She's starting to treat Kody more like a burden than a partner. It's all one big, tangled web of lies from the past and present. I honestly think they're both miserable. Does anyone actually believe someone could be truly in love with 4 people at once? I mean, sure, he probably thought he was in love with his wives at various points in his life, but let's not kid ourselves. He probably loved them for what they offered at the time. Meri at one point, Janelle for her easygoing nature, and Christine because, well, she had 6 kids for him. But was he waiting for his diesel jeans model soulmate all along? That's a fun thought. As for who his favorite was before Robyn, it's gotta be Meri. I'm sticking with that from season 1. Kody? He's not capable of real love. He loved aspects of each wife. Meri's devotion, Janelle's flexibility, Christine's fertility. But it was never the full package. And he's not in love with Robyn either, despite how he's spinning it. She earned the title of favorite wife by playing the sweet, submissive role and making sure her kids were the perfect, compliant little Stepford children. Plus, she subtly fed Kody negative thoughts about the other wives. Smart move, honestly. Now he's possessive of her, and he's built this entire narrative around her being perfect to justify the fact that he tossed aside his entire family for her. I do think he was in love with Meri at first, but then Janelle came into the picture, and he was immediately attracted to her. She was easygoing, didn't ask for much. A nice contrast to Meri, who, let's face it, probably demanded more. I don't know if he was ever in love with Christine, though. Maybe some love developed over time, especially since she gave him 6 kids. But by then, he already had 3 wives, and the kids were coming at lightning speed. It probably didn't seem all that complicated to him. It was just how things were. And then Robyn shows up, and suddenly, Kody's all starry-eyed. But let's be real, the love he feels for Robyn is a different breed. It's not the same as what he felt for Meri, Janelle, or Christine. That love? Probably more out of obligation. He's been riding that guilt train for years. Honestly, I'm glad the others left. They deserve way better than whatever circus Kody's running. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and much love to you all.